What if a single, forgotten manuscript held the key to humanity's greatest mystery? Imagine stumbling upon an ancient codex whose pages pulse with whispers from beyond the veil, offering a vivid map of what truly awaits when life ends. Centuries ago, seekers risked everything to guard this book's secrets, hidden in mountain monasteries, buried beneath desert sands, encoded within arcane symbols. Today we peel back its layers to reveal astonishing insights about the soul's journey after death. Not vague promises of paradise or punishment, but a precise, step-by-step account of consciousness crossing into the unknown. In this video you'll journey through the Codex's enigmatic origins and unlock its profound teachings on the moment of transition. We'll explore descriptions so vivid they read like eyewitness testimonies, examine cryptic metaphors that point to universal truths, and confront questions that haunt us all. Does consciousness persist? What shape does the afterlife take? How can understanding death transform the way we live now? By the end, you'll grasp why this mysterious book has captivated mystics, philosophers, and scientists alike, and learn practical techniques drawn from its pages to soften your fear of dying, deepen your appreciation for life, and cultivate an inner knowing that transcends mortality itself. Prepare to step beyond the threshold of the familiar as we decode an ancient guide to death and discover a wisdom that promises not an end, but a profound new beginning. Long before printed pages and digital archives, whispered tradition spoke of a singular tome, a living testament to death's hidden architecture. Its roots stretched to ancient Egypt, where priests inscribed spells in the Book of the Dead to guide souls through the Duat's labyrinthine chambers. Millennia later, Tibetan sages compiled the Bardo Thodol. The Tibetan text describes and is intended to guide one through the experiences that the consciousness has after death. Yet this mysterious manuscript differs from mere funerary guides. It synthesizes the world's deepest teachings into one coherent map of transition. Its earliest fragments were rumored to surface in Hellenistic Alexandria, copied by Hermetic philosophers who saw death as a metamorphosis rather than an endpoint. From the Neoplatonists to medieval alchemists, secret orders guarded its pages, believing that true initiation required facing mortality's truth. In Renaissance Italy, occult scholar Marsilio Ficino referenced lost texts describing the soul's pilgrimage beyond the stars, while Giordano Bruno risked his life exploring cosmic rebirth as part of that same lineage. Even Christian mystics like Meister Eckhart hinted at an ineffable book written in the blood of eternity, pointing seekers toward union with an infinite source beyond corporeal form. Across Asia, Taoist adepts recorded similar visions, the soul as luminous chi departing the body, guided by celestial diagrams toward realms shaped by intention and purity. In Kabbalistic circles, the Zohar hints at hidden scrolls, charting the soul's ascent through Sephiroth, an echo of the Codex's universal blueprint. Modern scholars studying near-death experiences note startling parallels. Reports of tunnels, bright lights, life reviews, and reunions with archetypal beings mirror the Codex's vivid passages. Neuroscientists puzzle over why human consciousness consistently describes similar threshold states, as though drawing from a collective source encoded deep within psyche. This book's significance transcends doctrine and dogma. It occupies the crossroads of mysticism, philosophy, and empirical insight, inviting us to consider death not as annihilation but as transformation. By tracing its lineage through ancient civilizations and secret societies, we see a persistent human longing to decode the final mystery and emerge with courage instead of fear. Today, as we peer into its pages, remember that you stand among generations of seekers who risked exile, heresy charges, and persecution to glimpse the beyond. Their sacrifice wasn't for sensational revelation but for liberation, proof that understanding death can awaken profound wisdom, reshape our values, and illuminate the path to living fully here and now. Long before modern science dared to probe the nature of death, sages across cultures treated it not as a final extinguishing of flame but as a sacred rite of passage. In the 1st century CE, Gnostic mystics whispered of the Book of the Dead, not the Egyptian funerary text of spells, but a hidden codex said to chart the soul's ascent through 7 celestial gates. Centuries later, medieval alchemists in Toledo spoke of the Liber Mortis, a secret treatise believed to originate in Alexandria's legendary library. Its pages scribed in shimmering ink that shifted color under candlelight. Baron von Frankenberg, a 17th-century German scholar, claimed to have glimpsed its existence in the personal notes of Paracelsus, who wrote, "Death is but the chrysalis of the eternal spirit." Meanwhile, Tibetan Vajrayana texts describe a remarkably similar blueprint called the Bardo Thodol, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, detailing post-mortem states with surgical precision. Though separated by geography and culture, these teachings converge on one profound idea. Death is neither annihilation nor random fate, but a structured journey through distinct thresholds of consciousness. Philosophers from Plotinus to Meister Eckhart mused on the soul's immortality. Yet few offered the granular detail found in the mysterious codex we examine today. In Renaissance Europe, Hermetic scholars revered it as the Liber Vitae, a manual of transformation that blended Neoplatonic metaphysics with alchemical symbolism. The Church suppressed any reference to its content, branding it heretical. Countless manuscripts were burned, its keepers forced into hiding. Yet whispers persisted in secret societies, from the Rosicrucians to early Freemasons, who encoded its wisdom into symbols and rituals meant to guide initiates past the fear of death. Carl Jung later encountered fragments of these teachings in his studies of near-death experiences, noting uncanny parallels between Western esoteric texts and Eastern death liturgies. Today, quantum physicists and consciousness researchers find themselves astonished by descriptions that predate modern near-death research by centuries, hinting at universal truths etched into human memory itself. Understanding this historical tapestry is essential. The Codex stands not as a relic of superstition but as the culmination of millennia of mystical inquiry. It reveals a coherent map of the soul's trajectory, one that transcends doctrine and culture, speaking directly to our deepest existential longing. As we delve into its pages, we'll see how ancient wisdom anticipated modern discoveries about consciousness, offering a bridge between life and death that is at once precise, poetic, and profoundly liberating. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, moonlit lake, its surface perfectly still, reflecting stars you cannot count. In the Codex's opening pages, death is described not as darkness but as the gentle dissolving of one ripple into the greater ocean of consciousness. Here begins the soul's first threshold, the unbinding of form. As breath slows and the body's senses fade, awareness shifts from the external world inward. The Codex likens this moment to a flame detaching from its wick. No agony, only a subtle loosening of attachment. Ancient glyphs depict a luminous cord stretching from heart to cosmos, gradually unspooling until the soul floats free. This isn't metaphor but a precise description echoed by countless near-death experiencers, a sensation of rising, of expansion, of leaving behind the confines of flesh. Beyond this initial release lies the second stage, the mirror of truth. The manuscript portrays a circular chamber lined with polished obsidian, an inner hall of reflection where every thought, deed, and intention projects as a living image. Here the soul encounters its deepest self without judgment or shame. Like watching your life play back in slow motion, one feels the weight of unresolved emotions alongside moments of profound love and compassion. The Codex emphasizes this as a healing crucible, not punishment, a necessary confrontation that cleanses the spirit. Moving deeper into the journey, we arrive at the corridor of lights, described as a corridor of brilliant geometric patterns radiating upward like a cathedral of prisms. Each pattern corresponds to a frequency of consciousness, resonating with qualities such as forgiveness, gratitude, and unity. The manuscript instructs that the soul naturally gravitates toward frequencies that match its predominant emotional vibration, echoing modern research on the law of resonance and emotional attractors. The fourth threshold is the threshold of choice, where the soul faces a luminous doorway framed by twin pillars inscribed with cryptic runes. One pillar pulses with warm golden light, representing unconditional love and surrender. The other flickers with cool blue energy, symbolizing attachment and fear. According to the Codex, the soul's resonance at this juncture determines whether it proceeds toward reintegration with universal consciousness or returns to earthly embodiment for further learning. Throughout these stages, the Codex weaves rich analogies, comparing the soul's ascent to a bird shedding feathers before taking flight, or a drop of dew evaporating into morning sunlight. It stresses that no step involves coercion. The journey unfolds organically, guided by the soul's intrinsic longing for wholeness. By detailing each threshold with poetic precision, the mysterious book transforms abstract doctrine into a vivid roadmap, one that demystifies death and reframes it as a natural progression of consciousness. In Part 2, we'll explore what awaits beyond the threshold of choice, including realms of profound unity and the paradox of return. Beyond the threshold of choice lies the fifth stage, the realm of unitive light, a boundless expanse where individuality dissolves into pure awareness. The Codex describes this realm as a field of shimmering tessellations, each facet reflecting infinite facets of the One. Here, time collapses into a single radiant moment, thought becomes transparent, and the soul experiences its true nature as consciousness itself. Limitless, luminous, and utterly free. Yet the manuscript reveals a paradox. Within this ocean of unity, individual essence is not annihilated but harmonized. Like a single note merging into a symphony, each soul retains its unique vibration even as it participates in a greater whole. Ancient allegories liken it to countless stars forming a constellation, each distinct yet inseparable from the pattern. If the soul's resonance aligns fully with unconditional love, it flows effortlessly into this unity, experiencing what the Codex calls the Great Embrace. In this state, knowledge is direct. There is no separation between knower, knowing, and known. The Codex likens this to gazing into a mirror that reflects not just appearance but the essence of existence itself. However, not all souls remain. The Codex outlines a compassionate return path for those whose vibration still holds residual attachment, a process termed the cycle of resonant return. Here, souls revisit earthly lessons until unresolved frequencies are purified. The manuscript emphasizes that this choice is voluntary. The soul, guided by inner wisdom, elects further embodiment as an act of service and growth, not punishment. Following the cycle, the soul re-enters the world through what the Codex calls the veil of renewal, depicted as a thin membrane of golden light filtering consciousness back into a new form. Symbolic imagery shows a seed planted in fertile soil, life emerging anew with the wisdom gleaned from prior journeys. Intriguingly, the text addresses seeming contradictions between predestination and free will. It teaches that while the cosmic blueprint is immutable, each soul's ultimate return to unity assured. The how and when it unfolds depends on conscious choice and inner transformation. This dynamic interplay mirrors quantum entanglement. Potentials exist simultaneously until intention collapses possibility into experience. The Codex also dispels the illusion of time's linearity. Past, present, and future are described as facets of a singular timeless now, accessible in higher states of consciousness. Mystical anecdotes within its pages recount souls perceiving entire lifetimes in an instant, understanding the ripple effect of every thought and action across existence. Finally, the manuscript reveals that death's ultimate purpose is liberation, liberation from fear, separation, and suffering. By framing death as a meticulously guided passage rather than an unknowable abyss, the book empowers seekers to live with courage and clarity. It reframes every challenge as an invitation to align more deeply with the soul's frequency, accelerating the journey toward unitive light. Having mapped these profound stages from unbinding of form to great embrace and beyond, we're poised to transform this knowledge into tangible practice. In the next section, we'll explore concrete exercises drawn from the Codex to prepare for life, death, and everything in between. The mysterious Codex does more than map death. It offers a living blueprint for transcending fear and awakening profound inner freedom today. Begin with the Codex's foundational exercise, conscious unbinding. Each morning, sit quietly and visualize your awareness detaching from the body like mist rising from a lake. Breathe slowly, feeling tension dissolve as you mentally release identification with physical form. This practice cultivates familiarity with the transition of consciousness, softening death anxiety and sharpening present moment clarity. Next, enter the mirror of truth through daily journaling. Create a sacred notebook page divided into 3 columns: thoughts, emotions, lessons. At day's end, record moments of discord and harmony alike, without judgment. Then distill the core lesson each reveals. Over time, this reflective ritual cleanses unresolved energies, mirroring the Codex's healing crucible and accelerating emotional purification. To attune with the corridor of lights, practice the frequency scan. Twice daily, pause for 2 minutes, scan your body from root to crown, and assign a single word to each chakra level sensation. For example, fear, curiosity, love, and so on. Then breathe into any low vibration spots, visualizing luminous geometric patterns infusing those areas with golden light. This aligns your emotional resonance with higher states described in the Codex, shifting habitual reactivity into conscious choice. Approach the threshold of choice through intentional surrender. Identify a recurring fear or attachment, perhaps judgment, need for approval, or regret, and write it on a slip of paper. Hold it in your hands, breathe deeply, then ceremonially burn or tear it, symbolically releasing that vibration into the cosmos. This ritual embodies the Codex's teaching that surrender is not loss, but liberation. Finally, prepare for the veil of renewal by cultivating daily gratitude and service. Each evening, list 3 experiences that expanded your heart, moments of kindness given or received. Then commit one small act of compassionate service the following day. By embodying love in action, you strengthen the soul's resonance toward unconditional unity and plant seeds for your next cycle of growth. Common obstacles include resistance to confronting uncomfortable emotions, impatience with subtle shifts, and skepticism of unseen realms. Overcome these by starting small, just 2 minutes of practice, and tracking your progress in a ritual journal. Celebrate incremental insights, a calmer mind, deeper empathy, clearer intuition. As you weave these exercises into your life, you'll notice a profound shift. Challenges become invitations, fear transforms into curiosity, and the looming mystery of death evolves into a source of power rather than dread. You will begin living as though guided by the Codex itself, embodying wisdom that transcends mortality, cultivating a luminous presence that ripples outward into every relationship and endeavor. The ancient Codex we've explored reveals death not as a void but as a meticulously guided passage, an unfolding of consciousness from the constraints of form into limitless unity. We witnessed each threshold, from the gentle unbinding of our essence, through the mirror of truth's compassionate reckoning, along the corridor of light's vibrational spectrum, to the threshold of choice where surrender births liberation, and finally into the radiant embrace of unity or the cycle of purposeful return. More than a cosmic map, these teachings offer a living practice: conscious unbinding to dissolve fear, reflective journaling to purify unresolved energies, frequency alignment to harmonize our emotional resonance, ritual surrender to release attachments, and gratitude-driven service to plant seeds of renewal. By integrating these exercises, we transform death from a distant unknown into a catalyst for courageous living, infusing each moment with intention, presence, and heart-centered clarity. Now ask yourself, what if the greatest secret isn't what happens after death, but how that wisdom reshapes your life today? Embrace the Codex's invitation to walk fearlessly toward your own thresholds. Start small, breathe, reflect, surrender, and watch as the mystery of mortality blossoms into profound freedom. Share your insights and experiences below, and join our community of seekers uncovering the hidden blueprint for life, death, and beyond. Subscribe for more ancient wisdom decoded, and take the first step toward living as though guided by the stars themselves, knowing that every ending is but the gateway to a new beginning.